Good morning from somewhere between Annapolis, Maryland and Baltimore, Maryland. I think it's called Riva. I'm dressed. I'm getting ready to go do a murder mystery. I got my coffee, not just because I needed a place to change and take care of some other things, but I needed the coffee. But, ladies and gentlemen, I was just thinking, we have to rethink these smartphones. They are problematic the way most people use them. Social media platforms, problematic the way most people use them. But we need to teach people how to use these platforms for their benefit. Seriously, I really believe that you gave a 10-year-old a smartphone and taught them how to use one. Like, really taught them what they could do with a smartphone from the marketing standpoint. And I know you're thinking, oh, they're 10 years old, but they're playing games, they're doing all kinds of things, they're learning how to code in some ways, they're experimenting with the internet in their own way. But if you got them just kind of using it, and we could create apps to teach kids how to do these things. They have STEM, they have STEAM, they have all these things, but what if we really taught kids marketing, content creation? I have this new thing, we're at third grade. I think every third grader should have improv comedy to teach them public speaking, self-confidence, just basic. Every fourth grader should have sketch and or stand-up comedy. And what if we added more and more content creation, video sketch comedy, PSAs, sharing how you feel, vlogging, like video blogging, on even at age 10, 5th grade. And here's the thing, it sounds like it's really advanced stuff, but I'm working with these kids. I do comedy with these kids. They're 8, 9, and 10 at the comedy club, and they are amazing. And they come in, usually they're there because their parents are like, I want my kid to learn focus. And you say you can teach focus. And they come in. By the time they leave, they're the leaders in their school. They're better students, all these things. But what if we rolled out all this stuff? Now, one, I'm thinking, hey, what if we could have knocked, we can't eliminate it, but what if we knocked stage fright off the top of the list? What if we knocked social media up at the top of the list for like the number one reason most people fail at relationships, at work, and all these other things, that these things like stage, these fears, these social anxieties, these stage frights, these things that are created in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that start to show themselves in ugly ways in middle school, and they become bullies or they become the victims and blah, 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 blah. What if we got these skills into the elementary school at 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, right? Hey, that coffee looks good. And so I'm thinking we teach these skills, and I'm telling you, these kids would never have to get a job at Starbucks or McDonald's unless they really wanted to, right? But we could teach them these skills, and to the point where they realize they do have options. I think so many of these kids, they know how to use a smartphone for cyberbullying at the age of 11, 12, right? They know how to use a smartphone for a lot of things they shouldn't be using a smartphone for. What if we taught them positive uses for a smartphone and get them creating and get them using their brains? And you know what? There's the studies at Stanford, William Fry, humor guru, doing comedy builds a better brain. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, I took a test about analogies. And when it said, oh, you could do analogies at 3rd grade, you're gifted and talented. 4th grade, I'm in all the G&T classes. I'm going on gifted and talented field trips, and I'm learning about ethos, pathos, logos in 4th grade, and people like that are adults have never heard these things, right? What if we kind of taught some of these skills? They're kind of counting on us getting ourselves there at 3rd grade. We test for it, and if we're good, I mean, how different is that from like Russia and China 30, 40, 50 years ago? If you can dance really good at 3rd grade, we'll put you in the Olympic program or the ballet program, or if you show aptitude at 2 years old, we're going to put work into you. Otherwise, you're going to go harvest potatoes in the field, right? What if we really gave kids these skills? And would it be that expensive, right? Or even, I was good at math because my mother did flashcards with me at 3 and 4 years old. If you want your kids to succeed, get some flashcards at 3 and 4 years old. Do Mad Libs. Teach them how to read. Read to them at 3 and 4 and 5 years old. You may or may not respect education, but I'm telling you, if you teach your kid to respect education, they're going to be better students. Maybe the system failed you. Stop the cycle in your family, right? Or we could just, as a society, say, hey, we're going to teach everyone a better way, right? Too much of school is just teaching kids to be drones. And I'm telling you, that kind of worked a little bit in the past, but a lot of those drone jobs are going away in the next 5-10 years, if not the next 6 to 12 months. And, you know, AI, I think, is going to attack white collar first. Technology has attacked manual labor jobs over the last 100 years, right? A lot of the problems we're having, all these people used to get paid to do auto mechanics. They used to get better. Now, you know, the bosses are still getting paid, but they don't need as much help now thanks to technology, right? If you're not the master carpenter, we're always going to, but they're not getting as much money as they used to make either, compared to inflation, right? As opposed to, you learn how to use this thing. I'm making this whole video on my phone. You learn how to use this device, and you learn how to do some basic coding. You learn how to do some basic, learn how to use AI. I mean, how many kids are using AI to cheat at 11, 12, 13 years old? What if you taught them how to use AI to do research? What if you taught them how to use AI to do coding? What if you taught them how to use these tools that are at our disposal? And I think the problem is a lot of people my age are terrified of these tools, right? A lot of people at my age are terrified of public speaking. A lot of people my age, I'm 53, are terrified at social interaction. And we could do a better job. The improv comedy I teach can do with the social stuff, but we could teach these skills. I want to go into every school in America and teach every third grader improv comedy, fourth grade, continue in fifth grade. But by fourth grade, we're incorporating sketch comedy and stand-up comedy writing. So we're tying it back even more and more into language arts, right? We're these kids, and I'll tell you, I say this, there are kids I work with that are smarter than we were when we were kids, and I was one of the smart ones. There are a lot of people smarter than me, a lot of hubris, a lot of humility, depending on the group I'm in, right? But the smart kids are smarter than we were, because they're doing everything I'm saying. They're learning how to use these apps. They'll start their own business at 14, right? There were a few people doing that. When I was in high school, there was somebody telling me, hey, join Amway, you'll retire by the time you graduate college. But now you can start a real business and do that kind of stuff, right? But what if these kids could be better writers? Because I'm working with high school kids sometimes, and their writing is not good. They're graduating high school, and they shouldn't be. And I hate to say that. They're not ready for the world, and they've got high school diplomas. That diploma is a worthless piece of paper because we're failing them, right? Back in the day, hey, you had a high school diploma that showed that you could complete something. Well, anybody can complete something now with social promotion. I'm not dissing social promotion. I'm just saying we could do a better job that we don't have to have social promotion, right? You know, it's like we have Band-Aids on cancer because we're not addressing the problem. The core problem, people are terrified. They're not good communicators, so they don't communicate. And then when they can't communicate well, they hide in the corner, or they double down on arrogance and become bullies and horrible leaders. But because everyone's scared, those people become the leaders. Now, don't get me started. I won't go into politics right now, right? We could do a better job at the education side of things, and without spending a whole lot more money. Easier said than done, but we could train these paras better. We could train these kids, or I got a college 22 that I'm working with after school. We could do better professional development with them, teaching them some very basic communication skills themselves, giving them more instruction. Hey, what if we start teaching these kids? I do improv comedy, stand-up comedy, and sketch comedy in a couple schools. Let's do a better job at continuing that stuff when I leave. Because a lot of people don't respect what I'm teaching. But the few that do adopt it into what they do, and their kids thrive. Because I'm not teaching comedy. I'm grabbing their attention, saying I'm teaching them how to be funny, and then I teach them how to listen, focus, respect, lead, community, do the exact same games at corporate workshops, leadership, sales, customer service, doctors, how to be better bedside manners, how to stop letting ego and insecurity destroy everything. And it's time we bring that more to the people. Hey, I love these long blogs. Nobody's listening at this point. If you are, thank you. If you can hear this, DM me. I'll give you some free tickets for a show.